starting.
What? Hello, so I don't know what today's topic is. So what is it?
I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. I sent it to somebody on Messenger, but he got so many Facebooks.
I can't help it.
And
I keep the professional one professional.
No, you don't.
Kind of. That message was inappropriate, but that's the way it says to you. And the people you told me to share it with. Tell them your topic.
Okay, so today's topic, I chose it. Getting started in
It's kind of
magic.
shady in here. Hold on.
Getting started in magic for beginners. And what brought this up was last night we went out to a club. And we ran, every so often we go out to clubs and stuff like that. And we run into clients. Or friends and stuff like that. People who we've seen in the past. And, and unknowingly they watch our videos. So, hi.
Hello.
It's good seeing you last night. It was fun. It sounded so kinky.
It did.
Sorry.
But he didn't recognize me, so it's okay.
Yeah. But
you should have started talking shit about me. That would have been
oh
funny.
yeah, I should have.
See what he did.
Yeah. So and he was saying, and I've got this from other people too. They've watched our videos and they want to try to practice magic, but at the same time, they're scared. They don't feel like they're quote unquote gifted.
Well, everyone's gifted.
Yeah. So this is just a pep talk video, I guess, and how to get started for beginners. Well,
Do it.
Yeah. But if you're thinking of doing like a Goishiki vocation or a Noki and stuff,
Don't
and
do
you've
that.
never done it, build up to it.
Start small.
Yeah, and we've had some clients who do this who are interested in learning, but they're scared. And a lot of times too, they psych themselves out so much, lusting for results, it can neutralize or mess up their work. What would you recommend for beginners?
Out of like books or spells or
In general.
In
For
general?
somebody new starting, or somebody who sees a spell online and they want to give it a try.
learn more about candle magic.
It's easiest.
Super easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
I found that it requires the least amount of focus out of other things. I mean, other people might think differently, but yeah. And I think that a lot of times, like after you're more experienced, it becomes a crutch. You're like,
Yeah,
do
that kind of
candles,
happens.
it's easy.
Yeah, that kind of happens to us.
Yeah.
But when it comes to beginner spells, or especially stuff that you see on YouTube and everything,
Look up the correspondences with the book.
Yeah, go see what it is that they're using. Are they using honey? Why are they using honey? What is it for? What are the attributes of it?
Why are they using cinnamon over bergamot? Or why are they using cinnamon and bergamot?
Stuff like that. Look at each ingredient and figure out what its place is there. If you don't have something, you can substitute it. A lot of people are like, no, you can't. Yeah, you can. Individualize your spells. You can do your own thing.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that we use, it's stuff that we've originally were inspired from books. Inspired, not copied. And then we took that recipe and we augmented it. We changed it so that we got suitable results. Or sometimes when we're getting
faster results.
yeah, sometimes when we're doing spell work, spirits will come in and they'll be like, well, don't use this instead.
Because a lot of times the recipes in the books aren't even the real ones anyways.
Yeah, so most likely that's going to be the case because think of it this way. You're a successful witch, you're doing all these crazy amazing spells that work. Why wouldn't you share that?
Yeah, why are you going to give everyone like the full details?
Not to say that we're not giving you full details. We're not giving you full details. We're giving you the overview of everything that we practice. And a lot of them are suggestions. We haven't really done many spell tutorials, and I kind of think that's kind of the reason why I'm not really into doing spell tutorials so much, because everybody individualizes their work. Everybody wants to, everybody has their own. Their own thing that they have at home that they work with the most. Stuff like that. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like saying, okay, this is how I bake this cake. Now, you want to bake that cake, but you follow a different recipe, but you still get the same good damn cake.
Cake.
Yes. So everybody's experiences are different. So that's why I personally prefer not to do spell tutorials. I'll tell somebody how to do a spell. From what I've seen, that has worked, but I won't really follow that per letter. Like if I say, oh yeah, no, this is the way that I do it all the time. No, because I'm always experimenting with different methods with different people. It's like, okay, we did this last time, let's see if it worked. Or, oh, this worked really fast for this individual, but let's try it with this person and see if they get the same results. Stuff like that. That's where divination comes in. Have you ever tried any online spells or stuff like that you've seen in tutorials?
Yes, I have. And a lot of the times I wasn't very fond of the results because either nothing happened by following it verbatim, or it was just like really slow, or the third option, it happened but not even at a noticeable rate. So I guess it's still slow.
Yeah.
It was like 50-50 shot half the time. The only way I really got it to work most of the time was by changing it and adding things.
Yeah, and we talk about this all the time too, because we have a huge collection of books in the other room from just witchcraft, and where we've looked at, oh yeah, I'd worked with this book before, but I didn't get any results. And we're noticing similar things with different authors where we don't get the results.
Oh, are you talking about how they basically copy each other?
No, like how they do like
Sorry.
someone's throwing shade.
Well, every majority of books out there are copied from another source because there's only so much you can write about for public view.
Yeah.
And it's not throwing shade at any of the writers, it's just there's so many topics that have been covered already, and without breaking any oaths, it's almost becoming recycled from a long, maybe a couple decades back.
Yeah.
And the good thing about the writer's note is, yes, they're maybe inspired, not stolen, inspired by previous works. Just like a lot of exercises and rituals are inspired, not technically stolen, from Franz Barden's books.
Mm-hmm. And you should get your hermetics.
You're like Bodyguard Track 9.
Bodyguard Track 9. I feel like Michelle Visage right there. So, I forgot the point that I was making.
Anyways, the point I'm going to make, one book that I've read that the spells actually work out of really easily without much tweaking, that I recommend for a beginner, even though I would say that we're not really Wiccan, or at least I'm not, is Scott Cunningham's books. His spells work really quickly.
Oh yeah, I was surprised. It is Scott Spinning. I can't even talk.
Scott Spinningham.
Scott Spinningham.
Spun that record.
Yeah, no, I did. I was bored one night, and Anthony was doing something. I think he was working on drag stuff, and
oh yeah.
I was working. I got stuff out of one of his books, and we had everything on hand. So I was like, cinnamon, nutmeg, this, grind it up, and everything like that. So I did everything, followed the book directly, her instruction. And I was telling him, I was like, I haven't done a spell by the book recently, so I'm gonna go choose a book and see what I can play with. Something simple. So I did it, got results within 48 hours. Like, damn, okay, using that one again. But then I did a similar spell for somebody else. Well, I did another spell out of the same book for somebody else. No results whatsoever. So I was just like, oh, okay, well, might have just been a one-night shot, but who knows?
I don't know. I've never had any ill experiences with his spells.
Yeah.
I like Laurie Cabot, but her spells and her recipes I never am a fan of unless I tweak it.
I gotta tweak some of her work too. I like her.
I love her writing, and I like her as a person. Just her spells. If you follow it by the book, I don't get anything out of it, which I respect because that just shows she changed it. She's good at oaths.
Yeah.
What other books? Without needing to tweak anything, I know I sound like a fangirl all the time, but Raven Grimassi's books are probably the best.
Yeah, his systems.
By far.
Yeah, his system is one of the ones that I get the most out of.
By far.
Yeah, because before I got into practicing and studying a lot of Raven's work, it was just, do the work, and there was no experiences. But when I started working with his system and his
it's like when
books,
you go knock on, it's like in horror movies when they're doing a spiritual seance or a Ouija board or trying to contact the dead, they knock on the wall and then it knocks back.
Yeah.
It's like, what up, girl?
Yeah. When people tell me that they're wanting to get interested in witchcraft, I usually refer them to Grimassi's work. I really like his writing, but and you can see as his books change from his first work up to now, it's been an evolutionary change, especially if we read them back to back. His point of views have changed, his point of views have grown, just like everybody else does. One person might out there be like, oh, well, I read one of his books back in 1990, and I don't like his work, so I refuse to read anything again. People grow.
Not all people, clearly. I refuse to read it.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not everyone.
Yeah, people's point of view changes. Our point of views have changed tremendously just by living, since we've been together in the past few years.
Oh yeah. I'm less hateful.
Yeah. I'm more hateful. Almost true.
We've achieved a balance.
Yeah.
I'm not as hateful, and he's a little bit more hateful. So like now we're on like the same level.
Yeah. But that's what I would recommend. Doing the exercises that he talks about, stuff like that. And like I said before, we've evolved spiritually over the past few years, and it feels like it's been accelerated. We've gotten more into doing channeling work. We've gotten more into doing different types of divination. Even Anthony learning how to read bones and stuff like that, which...
I like it. I'm not constantly cursing people, and now I have time to devote to makeup and stuff.
Yeah. And, it's just, you're learning stuff that you want to learn, too, instead of like, oh, well, there's not really anything published on it, I don't know how I'm going to learn it.
Yeah,
and
the spirits are just like, do this. They're like, okay.
Yeah, and then when we got together, it kind of just like opened a bridge, and it's just like, okay, here you guys go. So that's just kind of how that worked, if that makes sense. But as for beginners, definitely get started. I forgot to set the timer.
We started at 4:05.
Okay.
So you're good. There's no point in setting it now. Just put your phone down.
Yeah. But for beginners, just go ahead and start doing the work. If you're concerned about, do I need to cast a circle or do an opening ritual or stuff like that, practice.
I think one of the easiest books to grasp beginning magic would be... Scott Cunningham's is a little bit more spiritual. Read Silver Rim. Like, very specific ones. Don't be hating. So, try to Silver Broomstick, yes. And if you go with Teen Witch, skip the entire first part of it.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people throw shade about her, and I'm just like,
Aside from that, go to Mastering Witchcraft by Paul Houston if you are a little bit more... If you like the theoretical side that you can play around with in your head before actually performing the ritual, because he goes with a lot of information for background. Witchcraft Theory and Practice by Lee DeAngelis.
That's a good book.
What was that book by Raven Gromowski? I love his work, but I mix up the titles.
Grimoire of the Thornwood Witch?
That one, but there was another one. It got condensed into 2 books.
Book of the Ways?
Yes, Book of the Ways by Raven Gromowski.
I'm not sure who publishes that. I know you can order it from their website, though.
Yeah. Raven's Loft.
Yeah. Raven's Loft.
Biz?
.biz or... Yeah, I think
it's .biz.
Those are some good beginner stuff to get started off of, but if you don't really have the money to invest in books and you're having to learn everything offline, I know there's some of you teenagers out there. I used to be one of you.
But by technicality and by legality, we are not encouraging teaching to minors. Disclaimer. But, it's your computer, so you can do whatever you want. So, continue.
If you're, look at this stuff online. Look up different methods of circle casting, creating sacred space. That would be the first step into doing, before you do any magical work, is do some spiritual cleansing work for yourself. Spiritual bath. Easy one to do is just add some plain sea salt to the bathtub.
Oh my god, yes. If a recipe is so complicated, don't worry about it. Look for a simpler one for when you're beginning.
Yeah.
If you have to use 1 herb instead of like 20.
Yeah.
Seriously. I still got results the same way.
You can still get results. It all depends on how focused you are and how much you're wanting your spell to come to fruition.
That's what we should do videos on.
What?
Magic on a budget.
Yeah, text it so we don't forget. We've gotten to this thing where we come up with ideas now, we text it to each other so we don't forget, but somebody blows up my phone with so much stuff.
Hey, memes are life goals. Calm down.
So, do the work. Spiritual bath. Tablespoon of bath of sea salt into your bathtub. Don't have sea salt, but you have like a bunch of bath salts from the store. Use one of those.
Go to Dollar Tree and get the Epsom salt that has lavender in it.
Yeah, hold your hand over it and say a little prayer or an invocation. It doesn't have to be some like...
You don't have to, it doesn't have to have ye and thee in it.
Yeah, you're not quoting Shakespeare, my dear.
I've noticed that though, like, especially when I first started, everything I thought had to have that one, because I started off on my own. I was like 12 years old. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, let's try this. Experiment.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just grab the bath salt, throw them into the bathtub, and like, cleanse me, body, mind, and soul. So be it. That's it.
There's a little bit of profanity in this story. My favorite one was because I've had issues in the past with grounding. So I made a charm out of tiger's eye and a few other things, and Brian's like, "Ooh, what chant are you gonna use?" I was like, "You want to see this masterful Mozart composed chant? Help me fucking ground!"
It worked.
Yeah, it worked.
You know, why is that? Because you are verbally stating your will.
There is high emotional charge up in there.
Yeah, it takes a lot of power to say what it is that you want, and a lot of responsibility. So be careful how you fling your spells. So do spiritual cleansing bath first. Throw some bath salts just to get yourself cleaned off. Even if you're just going through a rough time and things are crazy right now.
And then after, you don't even need any tools for this. Cleanse yourself, air dry, and then just picture a bunch of gold light coming down from the sky and filling you up. You're good to go. You got to fill up that space.
Yeah, fill up that void that you've created. And a lot of books don't talk about that. When something is spiritually removed, something needs to fill that area back up. So golden light. You can do different prayers. If you want to work more with the Bible, go for it. A lot of Hoodoo traditions do that. It's
Psalm
okay.
23. We ain't judging you. I use the Bible and witchcraft spells a lot too.
Yeah, and for the longest time there was a lot of stigma about witches using the Bible and everything like that. A lot of old spells the Bible was used. Not only by witches but by cunning folk.
By Catholics.
Catholics, Stragans, Brujas, native traditions and stuff like that. So it's not something new and it's not something bad. It's just sometimes you get some people who are insecure because they had a bad experience with church and they want to hate everything being churchful. Calm down, Queen. Sorry. Hi, horse, stepping down.
I'm like, why are you telling me sorry? I don't care.
Yeah. So, now that you got that first part started, now to set up your workspace. It can be a huge elaborate altar if you want. It can be something...
You could just have like a little nightstand with a candle on it.
Yeah. Do you have to leave it up? No, you can put it out.
I used to... This sounds really like cheap. I had a plastic table in my room when I was 12. I threw a purple cloth on it because it always like altered my mindset to think, oh, this is so magical and pretty. So I had that, and I had candles that I would light up that I had hidden away behind a bookshelf. And I had just a simple sun and a moon on these candle holders, and I would use that to represent the god and the goddess. You know, like those metal candle holders from like the 90s? Yeah, those, I love those. And I just had a seashell, I had a red rock, a feather, a seashell, a feather, a red rock, and a bowl of salt. And that was my elemental representations.
Yeah, with mine, it was when I was first starting out. I still have the candle holder at home. I didn't bring it down, but it's got the sun on the right side, the moon on the left side, and it's got
I
the star
remember
on
that
the top.
one.
You seen it?
Yes, I used to have that same one too.
Yeah, and so I would put star to represent spirit, the goddess, and the god, and it was very hidden. With my wand and my athame, I would hide them on the side of my bed frame. So, I would just, it was a wooden bed frame, so I could slip stuff in between the side and the box.
I kept mine in my underwear drawer.
Yeah, so I would slide stuff. Witchcraft books, I would hide on, underneath the bed, underneath the beams. I just stick them under there and everything like that. Remember, I wasn't allowed to practice witchcraft when I was younger.
My mom helped me. It was like the Underground Railroad on the broomstick.
Yeah, and what I would do with incense, I would just buy regular incense because my mom burned the scent of incense, so I didn't have a problem with that.
My mom didn't. My dad didn't. My dad hated it.
Yeah. What else was there? Yeah, there was two crystal bowls that I had that I would use for the salt and water containers. I have since lost them. I think my mom gave them away after a while. But she used to keep candy and stuff in there. And then whenever I needed to do rituals or full moon stuff, I'd come over, dump out the candy, grab them, fill them up with water, and then say, do my thing with it. And I would put it on the altar, and then when everything was done, I would put everything back. So everything was hidden throughout my mom's house. Even my altar pentacle too, it was just those long matchsticks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would take those and I would fold them and under each other so I'd make a pentacle out of that.
I did the same thing out of cottonwood branches.
Yeah.
Because I carved my first pentacle for my altar out of a piece of plywood that my dad had left. My first wand was a rose wand from the front yard that I carved, and it took me 3 days, and I carved a swirl going up it. And I was like, I'm bleeding, I can't do no more. So I just used that. And I had cord wrapped around it for the handle. My chalice was a glass goblet that was really pretty crystal that I got at a thrift store for like $1.
Mm-hmm. I got mine from the dollar store.
My first cauldron, I don't even think it's a cauldron, that little pewter thing that I have. I think it was like an old like sugar dish or something. And it looks like a cauldron because the handles were snapped off when I got it.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a sugar dish or something.
Yeah, and it's made out of pewter, but I would use that as a cauldron.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have a cauldron.
I didn't technically have a cauldron. I mean, I had that copper one, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was a cauldron. I think that was a spittoon.
Yeah, I have a copper one. I found an old submarine pot that was shaped like a cauldron that I used.
Yeah, I have that old spittoon that you like to throw the trash from.
Yeah, one circle.
Yeah, I'm still judging you.
Oh well. Anywho, so your next step would be shade. So your next step is get your space ready. How do you do this? Consecrate some salt and water, or get holy water, sprinkle it around. Florida water, pray over that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sprinkle it around.
If you don't feel like praying over it, just go get some holy water from the church. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Use that, and then now you got to gather. Now that you have your altar set up, invoke your deities or not invoke them, whatever. Then do your spell work. What does it require? What does it require for you to do your spell work? Are you using candles? Are you making poppets? Stuff like that. If you want to do a poppet spell, but you don't have all the material for the poppets, paper.
Yeah, use paper. Use a potato.
Uh-huh.
Potatoes work great.
Yeah. In the past, I've gotten corn husk and I've made them into people shapes, and then I've used that. And you can find tutorials on how to make corn husk dolls online.
But yeah, potatoes are easier.
Yeah, potatoes are really good for binding people. You carve it into a human figure, and then you can use like string to bind it up, or stuff like that.
You know what has also worked that I had never thought about using until I read Utterly Wicked?
What?
Barbie dolls from Dollar Tree.
Yes.
Those
I've seen
actually
it.
work
I've seen
good.
it work. I'm like, wow. But then again, you're just going for the representation.
Yeah, it doesn't have to look exactly alike. Shit, use Play-Doh.
You can make kitchen clay at home.
Or if you're wanting to use candles, you can go to Dollar Tree and get you some candles.
Mhm.
If you need a specific herb, if you don't have it, look for a culinary herb that has similar properties, because those are easier to combine.
Yeah, with my root working and hoodoo stuff that I teach to use mostly culinary herbs, stuff that you can find at the grocery store, because not everybody has access to High John Conqueror root, mandrake, John the Conqueror, stuff like that.
Belladonna is also really hard to get.
Yeah, but rosemary. Oh, it grows wild over there, or I have some outside, or my mom uses it for the chicken. Basil, we use that on Italian night, or stuff like that. So it makes it easier with that. Now that you got your spell work done, light your candles, bind your poppets, whatever. Made your charm. Spend some time in meditation. And meditation means just, it's like contemplating. You're not like trying to be all zen and trying to reach enlightenment. No. By meditation, by this means is, you have all your stuff in front of you, relax, clear your mind, visualize the results as if they've already happened. Like if I'm doing a money spell, I'll visualize money like shooting out of the candle like a geyser. If I'm doing love spells, then I focus on a person coming to me, or more people being attracted to me or following me around and stuff like that. Be careful you don't get stalkers. That's happened before.
What was that meme? Wants to be surrounded by beautiful men.
Yeah.
It gets followed by drag queens.
Yeah, it gets followed by drag queens everywhere.
Literally.
Yeah. Do you do the meditation portion after your spells?
Sometimes if I have time.
Yeah. It's not required to meditate after them. Sometimes I'll light my candle and I'll go off and play video games and do something else and just let it do its work.
I know when I first started I did. Now I feel like a lot of times with magic there's a lot of confidence that you need in yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes that's the hardest hurdle for a lot of people to come over. But I'll do my spell, I'll think about the result as I'm doing it, because with my Hati work I do a lot of chanting before I do the spell, so I'll focus on it then. And then I'll just focus all the energy from that into the candle, and then I'll do the spell. But then after that, I'll just go about my way.
Yeah, and what also helps me too is like if we're doing spell work and we're in circle, like it's a full moon or something. We do the ritual, and I just don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, it's done. It's like shooting a bullet. You can't take it back. You've already set that energy out there.
I need to undo a love spell. Once you open a floodgate, how do you undo it? You release something with the spell. It must run its course.
There's no turning back.
She doesn't say that.
Oh. Mandela effect, which is what we're going to do a video on soon. Magic and the Mandela effect. That's what we were trying to figure out the other night.
Yeah. Text it to me. Anyways, we're almost out of time. What time is it? Yep, we have 4 minutes.
Okay, guys. So but do your spell, clean up your area, blah blah blah, and then try not to worry about it.
So I think that's the biggest thing that I can say to anyone that's new. Have confidence in yourself. Learn to, because honestly, if you're practicing magic, you shouldn't be talking about the magic you're doing anyways publicly. Mm-hmm. So if it doesn't work the first time, you don't got to worry about it, because a lot of people have this shame built up if something that they wanted to do doesn't fall through. So you don't got to even worry about it, because no one's even going to know what you were doing in the first place if you're doing it right.
Oh, got invited out.
Where?
A place we said we'd never go again.
I got to work at 6:30.
Okay, I'm not going. Because I got this whole thing with being social. I don't like doing it.
And plus, that was like not even worth the cover to get in the bar.
No, it wasn't.
No, I'm not going back there unless he gives us free passes. Then that's different.
Shade.
I'm shady. Sorry about that.
Hey, girl. No.
Yeah, have confidence in yourself. And friend, if you're watching, and I think you might be, free passes or I don't want to go back.
Yeah. I'll bring you something to drink. Just meet me in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going in there. It's scary.
Yeah.
The vibes were bad.
We're not going to say what bar. But,
So.
anyways, confidence in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And learn to know, to dare, to will, to be silent is something that's overlooked. But when you're first starting, and even when you're experienced, don't go bragging about your work.
That's just tacky.
I know. It's because eventually people with a big ego will fall, and they fall hard.
Yeah, you don't want to fall.
See, and I think of it, if you're practicing magic, it's more like being there for not only yourself, but you can also be there for your people.
Yeah. You know, I've seen people where they've bragged about doing stuff to other people, and, you know, this has happened where people have tried to work stuff on me in the past, and they go bragging to other people, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, whatever. Well, what do you think about that? You know, they try to get me riled up, and I was like, I ain't worried about it.
I'm like, honestly, I'm not seeing any of your results, so
yeah.
we need to find a new teacher.
Yeah, I'm like, I ain't worried about it. And then finally, I'll be like, I might as well do something about it, though. And I'll do the work, and this person falls flat on their ass, and then they're just like, oh, I'm just like, maybe you should have kept your mouth shut.
Because honestly, I've seen you do this, and I'm like, they were working on us? When?
Yeah. I do that a lot. So I'm kind of an ass.
See, it's funny I think it's sexy when someone's cocky, but when they're egotistical, no.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Share. If you don't like the video, well, maybe this one wasn't your cup of tea. Maybe we'll see you some other time.
If not, peace out.
Yeah.
Peace out, Rainbow Trout.
What? Okay. Somebody's had too much caffeine today.
I haven't even finished my tea.
But there's plenty of shade over here.
You're welcome. I'm like a skyscraper.
So, we'll see you guys next time, and we're probably going to be doing another video after this.
Yeah, because I remembered what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so we'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
And it involves plastic Barbie dolls.
Kinky. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.